Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now the very beginning of November of 2022. We are getting very close to the end of this year, which by the way is going to kickstart what I like to call the beginning of the new Star Wars franchise being handled by both FAVREAU and FILONI. It all begins with The Bad Batch Season 2, starting up in January, and then followed by Mando Season 3, Star Wars Ahsoka, and then of course we have Celebration coming. That's going to announce a whole lot of new Star Wars TV shows for the entire roadmap. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe between John, George, and Dave is that not only are they hiring a lot of new creators out there to step on board over at Lucasfilm, but also they are getting a lot of George Lucas's old concepts from Star Wars Legends that never actually made it to getting published in the Legends books that are going to be used as new source material for these upcoming projects. So that's another thing to look forward to as well. Now, with that being all done and said, what's really intriguing has a lot to do with what Disney is trying to craft. And basically, what they already have in store is they have over 30 Star Wars TV shows in the pipeline. Some of which, by the way, are in the early development phase, others of which, by the way, are also in production. And they essentially want to extend Star Wars all the way until past 2030. Now, of course, that really may seem excessive, but they really want to make Star Wars as successful as Marvel when it comes to the frequency of shows and movies working as one. That's where they want to get eventually. So, with that being said, with many new Star Wars TV shows currently in the works, with, of course, both FAVREAU and FILONI, new creators are also getting hired to join Lucasfilm. However, in a recent interview with Disney, of course, and that Disney took part in, they went on to talk about the past and eventually apologize to the entire fandom. This all has to do with Disney CEO Bob Chapek, who stated the following to the community: "It is currently our goal to ensure that we can keep fan interest as an ongoing thing for these new projects that we are developing. I want to tell the fans directly that for what we at Disney had done in the past with mishandling the franchise under different leadership, that we are truly sorry for all of that. Creatively speaking, back then it may have not been for everybody, and we realized that for those that felt abandoned, it was actually the most loyal of fans who understood this franchise best. We are working every corner to make sure that we can do better with a brand such as Star Wars, both live action wise and animated, to really give fans an immersive, fun experience again that George created all those years ago." So he goes on to really confirm to the fans that they really are trying to do better. They're really trying to enhance the brand and the overall tone of the actual Star Wars franchise and everything that comes in between. Now, when you look at somebody like FAVREAU and FILONI, these are guys that are very dedicated to their work. Bob Chapek gave them a lot of promotions over at Lucasfilm. John and Dave are very proud of that, and that's allowing them to express their creativity in these upcoming shows like Mando Season 3, Ahsoka, and others out there as well that's really going to work hand in hand with other TV shows. So that's another good thing to look forward to. But when you look at it like this too, everything related to the upcoming franchise, you know, with John and Dave fully taking control, except for the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, which by the way is in the hands of Kathleen Kennedy 100%. Both John and Dave tried to fix the Acolyte, but they walked away. And we'll talk about more about the specifics about that maybe later. But with that being said too, this is where Bob Chapek really makes things more clear to the fans, is that he's making it very open that when Bob Iger was running the show, it was not being run correctly. Alright, it was not in the right leadership. And it's true. You know, when you look at Bob Iger, he played things safe. He admitted about using the sequel trilogy as being a very safe approach to Star Wars by basically copying elements of the original trilogy on purpose. He literally admitted that. Now, moving on to the next thing here, he goes on to actually say the following: We will be making some very important announcements in the coming weeks for Star Wars Ahsoka and even Mando Season 3, but for the time being, we are working on many upcoming projects that we believe is truly going to create that magic within fans again. This is why we are now making sure we no longer prematurely announce titles until we are positive that we will be bringing those projects into development for the community to certainly see either on the big screen or at home on their Disney Plus streaming service. So, the thing about all of this, apart from Bob Chapek, is that Chapek is also allowing FAVREAU and Filoni to bring George Lucas on board to help them with all the upcoming shows. Basically, George is going to have a big role hand in hand with, of course, shows out there like Mando 3, Ahsoka, Mando 4, Book of Boba Fett Season 2, and that's just to name a few out there. There's also Circle of the Wills, Jedi Knight, the Bo-Katan series, which by the way is going to be called Star Wars Mandalore, all of that of which will be announced at Celebration and or D23 next year. And to be honest, I think that Mandalore is probably the most exciting show to look forward to because it's really going to be like the Avengers of the Star Wars universe, if that makes a lot of sense to you guys. It's going to actually have all the characters combined at one point in time and spreading apart into different sections and doing their own thing. And they already kind of did that to a degree in The Mandalorian, but they really want to maximize that in the show Star Wars Mandalore, which is going to heavily feature Mandalore itself, but it's also going to go back in time featuring characters like Tar Vizsla, who was both a Mandalorian and a Jedi, but I digress. So you can see where Disney's going. You can see how they are taking a lot of elements from the Star Wars lore, what the fans love and enjoy. I would like to hear what you guys have to say about this, because when you look at shows like Kenobi and Boba Fett, which created a lot of controversy, right? Love those shows or hate those shows, but at the end of the day, they did cause a lot of divide. It caused a lot of controversy within the community. There's no doubt about that. So here we are, where we're in a post Obi-Wan Kenobi show point in time where FAVREAU and Filoni's work is beginning to emerge. It's all going to start, like I said, with Bad Batch 2, Mando 3, and Ahsoka. Those are the three big shows of 2023, and they want to even maximize it for 2024 and beyond. So there's a lot of things on the horizon. Now, Bob Chapek, as we had already discussed, is planning to leave by 2024. Even though he extended his contract, he is planning to leave by 2024 because of all of the problems that have been going on over at Disney and everything related to that. The Disney parks, the Disney movies and themselves. I mean, there's a lot of things happening. So, overall, there's a lot of developments happening over at Lucasfilm. Things are moving in the right direction, so that's at least good news. It's looking brighter and brighter every single day. So anyways, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. Let me know what you guys have to say about that. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.